I think that PlayWrite is important to the world at large and the community at large because creativity and investment in our youth is important to the community at large. We're facing ever increasingly complex problems in the world, and I think creativity, creative expression, creative problem solving, all of that is going to be of the utmost importance for this upcoming generation. So I think one of the most important things we can do is invest in the creative development of young people, and PlayWrite does that.
And I think in our modern society, we've spent probably 50 years in systems that have kind of been built more or less to make us feel like we have limited value and limited power. And I feel like these experiences and this process and what PlayWrite does is almost like an inoculation against that.
In a time when we are seeing so many fine arts budgets getting cut at all levels of schooling, at all levels of community programming,
I think that the more students that PlayWrite can serve, the better.
We do have a coach to writer ratio, a 1-to-1. And right now, that takes resources. It's such a unique opportunity for these young people. And it needs to continue. And we need your help to do it.
I'm a firm believer in letting people find their extemporaneous voice, having them feel that that's valued and encouraged, simply because the world feels structured a different way to not allow for that. And so I see PlayWrite as a form of medicine in a certain sense, not only for society, but for individual souls who are looking for belonging.
as a trans person and a member of the queer community, so much of our lives is about fighting a story that is put on top of us from outside, a story that we have grown up with, and it can be really frightening when you first come out to figure out what your story is now and what your life is going to be. There's not a script anymore. And figuring out how to ask questions of yourself and how to start framing that development and examining your feelings is an incredibly crucial skill that a lot of communities need in specific.
I think PlayWrite teaches young people that strength comes from vulnerability and honesty, and that the more vulnerable you can be, the stronger you will feel as a person. And I think PlayWrite, again, helps nurture and support those values.
And seeing some of these students who would be considered marginalized, at risk, fully in risk. There have been times where I have seen the PlayWrite process impact these students to the point that they become advocates in their community. They become more social. They become more involved in themselves and their education and their community.
I think PlayWrite creates actual change and impact. Every PlayWrite workshop I have gone to, there is change that you can see in that young writer from day one to the last day. So I'd say if you're interested in supporting something that is actually going to make tangible impact and change, you cannot make a better contribution than the one you would make to playwriting.